Hello, and welcome to another video in the EfficiencyNext 2016 Year in Review series. My name is Paul Katz, and today we're going to look into some of the work we've done to integrate EfficiencySpring, our data management platform, into SharePoint Online. So EfficiencySpring, it's a nice standalone solution. It can provide database capabilities to our clients outside of SharePoint. This is actually our one of our applicant databases. So we have one test record in here. You can see that we support multiple interfaces, fields. We have different subrecord interfaces. We can interweave files and file interfaces into it for uploads. You can see it's blanking now, and that'll come into play a little later. Um, and so this runs perfectly standalone. But the one thing we've noticed is that our clients want single sign-on with SharePoint. They might want to be able to leverage their document libraries to store files as opposed to like a file store. And they want that seamless SharePoint experience to carry over into their tools. So we've adopted that into EfficiencySpring. Essentially, if we have this configuration where we can essentially load in client IDs from SharePoint apps, set up namespaces, and then from SharePoint we can launch into the platform. So let me demonstrate that. This is one of our SharePoint sites, and this is a standard SharePoint add-in that you register on the site that points to our EfficiencySpring platform. So I'm going to click on it, and there you go. This is another database tool, the People tool. And if I click on applicants, you can see here is our test record. And essentially, a SharePoint user can be in SharePoint, just launch in, logins just work like that, and they're in. Now, what's interesting is you see this files tool is empty, and one reason for that is the where we've been pointing at the local file management storage. But we also support document libraries. So let me go ahead and change the configuration of the applicants tool, and oh, we actually have some styling. We're actually this is funny. We'll actually get into this in a bit. We have some cached styling at play here, and I'll show you. Essentially, what our platform can do is actually dynamically adopt SharePoint styling. I've been switching styles on and off today in prep for the video, but I'll show you how that works. That's actually going to be very cool. So remember what I just did. I just changed SharePoint files. So if I go back to let me close this source code out. If I go back to our applicant and refresh, you now see that there's files associated with this user, with this applicant. And you might wonder, well, where are those files? Well, we're actually leveraging the backend document library. If we go to documents, I'll open up another tab here just because I can use that other tab in a sec. You can see we have this data manager document folder, applicants. Let's drill down through the ID structure. And there are the files. And this leads to some interesting things. In theory, you know what the ID structure is. You could drop files into SharePoint and have them show up in the tool, or likewise, you could drop files in here and have them in the document library. But what's nice is that if you have document retention capabilities, if you do, or needs, and you want to do backups from SharePoint, you can maintain those policies with how we work with files through our database platform. And that's kind of really it. We want to provide all the depth of capabilities, the search capabilities, the sub-record capabilities, export and reporting that you get with EfficiencySpring, but also tie in the document management, authentication, and styling capabilities of SharePoint. So you remember that kind of little snafu we ran into earlier, where I had kind of a half-loaded style sheet. That was because earlier I was testing out style shifting, and let me show you how that works. So I'm going to go to change the look, and this is going to load up, and I'm going to choose a look that is a little bit more, shall we say, let's see, a little dark. So it's loading in. It takes a little bit of time, so as this is working, as this is going on, our primary target is SharePoint Online. We have deployed this on-premise too with Windows authentication or claims authentication. The add-in framework was really built for the cloud because it lets essentially all the application code runs on a separate server. It doesn't bog down your SharePoint Online setup at all. There's no custom code on server. So let's see, it's going to show me a preview, and I'm going to keep it. Some folks who are using the internet might actually be like, whoa, what just happened? So you can see this is what SharePoint looks like now. And so what about our tool? Well, if I reload the tool, it'll probably partially load, and that's because we don't want to be rude to SharePoint. So whenever we load style sheets in or style profiles in, we cache it. So most users aren't going to go back and forth between they're not going to be just changing the styles left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. I think I have one more to do here. Yeah, and you can see the date stamp actually changed. And so now if I refresh this completely, now we have a cool dark theme. Um, and what's neat about this, of course, is that EfficiencySpring can be a add-in server for not just one SharePoint site, but multiple SharePoint sites. Add-ins can be published to multiple SharePoint sites. So you can sell them through the Microsoft Store. Uh, and essentially, the database tools from EfficiencySpring will service the visual design demands of those individual SharePoint sites. So the one with the dark theme, the same tool will show up dark here as it does elsewhere. We have other capabilities too for SharePoint. One is I'm not going to demo this, but just as a note. Separate data between SharePoint 2013 sites. What this means is that if you have like an applicants database and maybe you have 5 different departments with their own SharePoint sites, you can have the same database and they won't see each other's data. So we've built a multi-tenancy capability into the app. We also can dynamically sync users automatically into EfficiencySpring from SharePoint, and as well as their permissions in. So essentially, this is we've provided the power of our database tools, the customization of our database tools, combined with the document management capabilities of SharePoint, as well as just the seamless integration in visual design. If you're interested in building database applications for your SharePoint Online sites, we're happy to help with that. We also have a bunch of great process management technology, and if you need help with SharePoint in general, we're well versed in SharePoint. How to architect things right up front with content type, site columns, all that great stuff. So always happy to have that conversation. My name's Paul Katz, PKATZ at EfficiencyNext.com, and my Twitter handle is Napkatz, NAPKATZ. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.